The oceans cover more than 70% of the Earth's surface. They produce over half of the oxygen we breathe, regulate our climate, and are home to millions of species, many of which remain undiscovered. For centuries, the oceans have sustained life, provided food, and served as a source of inspiration and exploration. But today, they are under threat like never before. Every year, millions of tons of plastic are dumped into the oceans, devastating marine ecosystems. Industrial overfishing has pushed countless species to the brink of extinction. Rising sea temperatures are killing coral reefs, while ocean acidification is weakening entire food chains. If we don't act now, the ocean's ability to sustain life on Earth will diminish, and the consequences will be catastrophic. The oceans are more than just vast bodies of water. They are the planet's life support system. They absorb 90% of the excess heat generated by greenhouse gas emissions and act as a carbon sink, absorbing nearly a third of the CO2 produced by human activities. Phytoplankton, microscopic organisms that float on the ocean's surface, are responsible for producing 50% of the oxygen we breathe. These tiny organisms form the foundation of marine ecosystems, feeding everything from small fish to the largest whales. Without healthy oceans, life on Earth would collapse, but the ocean's role as a buffer comes at a cost. Absorbing excess carbon dioxide is changing the chemistry of seawater, making it more acidic. This process, known as ocean acidification, is already impacting marine species like shellfish and corals, which struggle to build their calcium-based shells and skeletons in acidic waters. Chapter 2: The Plastic Plague. Every year, more than 8 million tons of plastic enter the oceans. This plastic doesn't just disappear, it breaks down into smaller and smaller pieces called microplastics. These microplastics have been found everywhere, from the deepest parts of the ocean to the fish we eat. Marine animals mistake plastic for food. Sea turtles eat plastic bags, mistaking them for jellyfish. Birds feed plastic debris to their chicks. Over time, this pollution can lead to starvation, internal injuries, and death. In the Pacific Ocean lies the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, a floating mass of plastic waste twice the size of Texas. But this isn't the only one. There are garbage patches in every major ocean, fueled by human consumption and poor waste management. The problem doesn't end with visible plastic. Microplastics, invisible to the naked eye, are now found in drinking water, salt, and even the air. The long-term effects on human health are still unknown, but the risks are undeniable. For centuries, the oceans have been a vital source of food, but industrial fishing practices have pushed marine ecosystems to the brink. Today, 90% of the world's fish stocks are either fully exploited or overfished. Bycatch, the unintentional capture of non-target species, claims the lives of millions of marine creatures each year, including dolphins, turtles, and sharks. Trawling, a method where massive nets drag along the ocean floor, not only depletes fish populations, but also destroys delicate habitats like coral reefs. Species like bluefin tuna, once abundant, are now critically endangered. The loss of these apex predators disrupts the entire food chain, leading to cascading effects throughout marine ecosystems. Illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing further exacerbates the problem, often targeting protected species and depleting fisheries in vulnerable regions. Coral reefs, often referred to as the rainforests of the sea, are among the most biodiverse ecosystems on the planet. They support over 25% of all marine species, despite covering less than 1% of the ocean floor. But coral reefs are dying. Rising ocean temperatures, caused by climate change, have led to widespread coral bleaching. When water becomes too warm, corals expel the algae that live inside them, turning them ghostly white. Without these algae, corals cannot survive. The Great Barrier Reef, the world's largest coral reef system, has lost half of its coral cover in the past 30 years. Similar patterns are emerging in reefs around the world. Coral loss doesn't just affect marine life. It affects humans too. Reefs provide coastal protection from storms, support fisheries, and attract billions of dollars in tourism revenue. Their destruction could have far-reaching consequences for millions of people. As the oceans absorb more carbon dioxide, their pH levels drop, making the water more acidic. This change has a profound impact on marine life, particularly species that rely on calcium carbonate to build their shells and skeletons. Oysters, clams, and other shellfish are struggling to survive in these conditions. Coral reefs, already under threat from warming waters, face an additional challenge from acidification. Rising sea levels, another consequence of climate change, threaten coastal communities around the world. Small island nations like the Maldives and Kiribati are at risk of disappearing entirely. In cities like Miami and Jakarta, rising seas and storm surges are already causing billions of dollars in damage. Despite the challenges, there is hope. Around the world, people are fighting to save the oceans. Efforts to clean up plastic pollution are gaining momentum. The Ocean Cleanup, a project designed to remove plastic from the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, is already making progress. Marine protected areas where fishing and other activities are restricted are helping ecosystems recover. In some regions, overfished species are making a comeback. Innovations in technology, like biodegradable plastics and sustainable fishing gear, are providing new tools in the fight to protect marine life. Governments and organizations are also stepping up. The Paris Agreement includes commitments to reduce emissions and protect marine ecosystems. Initiatives like the United Nations Decade of Ocean Science aim to advance our understanding of the oceans and drive global action. Conclusion: the ocean crisis is one of the greatest challenges of our time. It's a story of loss, resilience, and hope. The oceans have given us so much: food, oxygen, climate regulation, and inspiration. Now it's our turn to give back. The choices we make today will determine the future of our oceans and ultimately the future of life on Earth. It's not too late to act, but time is running out. Together, we can protect the oceans and ensure they continue to thrive for generations to come.